Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 17, Verse 17. Divi sprisotema tirita trotibir niruddha trasto spuradandada bhujo Ram Tramyayanto charanai pade pade Tatya Satrancharya Tramatitya Tastato. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Their bodies became so tall that they seemed to touch the sky with the crest of the gold crowns. They blocked the view of all directions, and while walking, shook the earth at every step. Their arms were adorned with brilliant bracelets, and they stood as if covering the sun with their waist, which were bound with excellent and beautiful girdles. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Purport. In the demoniac way of civilization, people are interested in getting a body constructed in such a way that when they walk on the street, the earth will tremble, and when they stand, it will appear that they were covered the sun and the vision of four directions. If a race appears strong in body, the country is materially considered to be among the highly advanced nation of the world. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purport.
The Bhagavad Gita describes in the 16th chapter divine and demoniac nature. Now here in the Bhagavatam is an example of demoniac nature. What is the demoniac nature like? So these two demons who had taken birth as the sons of Kashyapa and Diti. In the previous verse it is described they began to grow just like two great mountains. So how tall did they grow? That is described in this verse. Divis Prusho, they grew so tall that they seemed to kiss the sky. And they were touching the sky. Hema Kirita Kotivihi. Hema means golden. Kirita means helmet. Kotivihi, crest. Crest means a bunch of feathers on a cap or a helmet. So they had decorated their helmet with some feathers, and the sky was seemingly touched by the crests or the feathers of their golden crowns. Then Niruddha Kashtho, they blocked the view of all directions. When they were standing, their body size was so big that they seemed to block the view from all directions. And Spurad Angada Bhujo, they had their arms adorned with brilliant bracelets. They were decorated very nicely with valuable ornaments. The previous purport Prabhupada says, they thought that this was a success in life, building a big and strong and stout body, decorating the body with valuable ornaments, and walking as if with every step they are shaking the earth. Gam kampayanto charanai pade pade. Gam means the surface of the earth. They are walking with their huge body, and this every step as if the earth is shaking, kampayantam, almost like creating an earthquake while they're walking. Katya Sukancha, and their waist is bound by beautiful girdles. Girdle means belt. They're having beautifully shining golden belts around their waist. And Arkam Atityatasthatuhu, and they stood as if covering even the sun with their waist. So these descriptions help us to understand what is the demoniac nature. It's not just that a strong body is being condemned. It is the mentality, the demoniac mentality. Asuri Swabhava, that is being described here, which is not very glorious really. So Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, in the demoniac way of civilization, which is very prominent now, people are interested in getting a body constructed in such a way that when they walk on the street, the earth will tremble. Why is such a mentality being displayed by such people? If you go back to the description in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 16th chapter, Krishna describes in the first 3 verses the divine qualities. And you don't see descriptions of, in the divine qualities, 26 divine qualities Krishna describes. Nowhere you see description of arrogance, pride. Such things belong to the demoniac nature. In the 4th verse, arrogance, pride, anger, conceit, harshness, all these qualities belong to those of demoniac nature. Dambho, darpo, abhimanascha, krodha, parushyameva. Now, this is also due to a particular reason why they are arrogant, why they are so proud, why they are so conceited. It's because it is described in the purport, these demoniac qualities are taken on by them from the beginning of their bodies in the womb of their mothers. And as they grow, they manifest all these inauspicious qualities. It's not that the parents of Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu raised them to become very conceited. They have taken these qualities by birth. That's why it's so important, Srila Prabhupada explains, and Krishna explains also in the Bhagavad Gita, and Prabhupada also explains in the purport. Dvaubhuta sargau lokesmin Daiva-Asura evacha. Sarga means created by birth. By birth, somebody is born with divine qualities. By birth, somebody is born with demoniac qualities. Then what is the basis of taking birth with divine or demoniac qualities? That is explained that the importance of birth, divine or demoniac, is based on those who follow regulated life, those who follow the scriptural directions, those who conduct their lives according to scriptural injunctions. Scriptures say that sex life is meant for bringing forth good progeny. But if somebody thinks that sex life is meant for enjoyment, then they don't take care to perform garbhadana samskara. As a result, the children born of such a combination of parents who enjoy sex life, the children born will be of demoniac nature. Demoniac nature. So that is very vividly illustrated in this description in the Bhagavatam, in this section. Diti, she wanted to enjoy, and Kashyapa Muni told that yes, I will satisfy your desire, but you wait for an appropriate time. So there is a certain regulation. If you go through the marriage rituals given in the scriptures, the samskara, vivaha samskara. Samskara means purification. So the rituals are meant for purifying the existence. That is the business of human life. So even in marriage, there is consideration of how to purify the existence, both the husband and wife, how they purify their existence. So if they are combined to produce progeny, then there are so many different samskaras given. Garbhadana is just one of them. So many samskaras are there. Now the priest who performs his vivaha yajna actually is supposed to educate the bride and the groom about these samskaras, and supposed to actually tell them the importance, how to conceive children in such a way that such children born are of divine quality. But if people think these rituals are a botheration, I don't believe in all these rituals, or just do away with all those rituals. Go to a court and do registered marriage. That's become the fashion nowadays. So, such a demoniac civilization, that's why Prabhupada says here, the demoniac way of civilization. This is a demoniac way of civilization. Don't care for any of the samskaras. No aim of life for purifying existence. So naturally, the children born of such parents will be born in ignorance. It is described here in the 5th verse or the 4th verse. Ajnanam chabhijatasya, they are born in ignorance, and as a result of such a birth, they are born with all demoniac qualities. After such children are born with demoniac qualities, born in ignorance, then the parents sometimes undergo a great struggle to raise such children. Then they have so much difficulty. But if care was taken while conceiving the child, following the scriptural directions, then there is no difficulty in raising good children. You see how it's so important. Education, knowledge, culture, following the shastric directions is so important. Just like modern day civilization, they consider an advanced nation, as Prabhupada points out here. If a race appears strong in body, their country is naturally is materially considered to be among the highly advanced nations of the world. This is their way of measuring which nation is advanced. If people have strong body. On the other hand, in the Vedic culture, which nation is considered advanced nation? Whose people are culturally advanced. So you've got good culture, good behavior, good character, good qualities, divine qualities. Such a nation is considered advanced. You see, before the Europeans came to India, they were searching for a sea route. Those days they used to travel by sea, across, crossing the boundaries of their own countries, going to different continents. So when they were searching a sea route to India, the fame of this country was not only its wealth, more importantly its culture. More importantly the culture. And naturally when the culture is very advanced, people are peaceful, people are happy, people are prosperous. There is plenty of everything. All the good things are in plenty. Good supply. So the impetus for the Europeans to search for a sea route to India was the glorious culture. Even today, the ones who are serious about, advancing culturally, they come to India for studying the culture, for learning the culture. What kind of culture? Not this kind of culture, where somebody thinks that if they are strong in body, then they are very advanced. No. The divine culture, the divine qualities. And such divine qualities have got a basis in Krishna consciousness. So in the 16th chapter, Srila Prabhupada points out, ultimately, the only difference between the divine and demoniac is that the divine natured people follow scriptures, lead a regulated life, are controlled in all their actions, thoughts, words, everything. Whereas the demoniac don't care. So, in the description of the demoniac nature, if you carefully study, every description is that they are unregulated, they are whimsical, they don't care for authority. Now, why are these two demons, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, walking as if they are, going to shake the earth? Why? Because they don't want to accept higher authority. They think there is no God, godless civilization. There is no God in control. That's what Krishna says. They say this world is unreal, there is no foundation, there is no God in control. Anishwaraha. Asatyam apratishtamte jagadahur anishwaram. There is no God in control. If at all you were searching for some God, then I am God. Just like King Vena, he declared himself God. He saw people worshipping some God. He said, why do you worship any other God? I am God. There is no other God. Or, if they want a philosophy, then everybody is God. Some foolish philosophy like this. Everybody is God. So they think they can please all the people. So this kind of demoniac civilization is very prominent now. That is primarily because people are becoming godless. Sometimes people think that all good qualities can be there without God consciousness. They say, why do you bring in God? We talk of trying to improve the quality of life, trying to improve people's character, etc. So why do you bring in God? There's no need for God. But actually, godless people can never have good qualities, can never have good character. It is opposed. Good qualities, good character, good quality of life, all these are not possible in a godless civilization. So this is also taught in the Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam declares, Hara Vaktasya Kuto Mahadguna. How can Abhakta, Hari Abhakta, a non-devotee, how can he have any good quality? Why? Primarily because Manorathena Sati Dhavato Bahihi. They are always driven by mental concoction. They are riding on the chariot of their mind. This is a poetic description. They are always conducted by their own mind. They don't accept higher authority. They don't accept any regulation by the Shastra, regulation by authority, regulations given by God or saintly persons or sadhus. They don't want that. So such a civilization is a demoniac civilization. And demonic civilization means there cannot be any good qualities. Demonic nature means all bad qualities. Nothing can be good. Nothing actually of real value. Even though sometimes even demons seem to have some good qualities. Seem to have good quality. Just like Bhagavad Gita describes, 16th chapter. They perform sacrifices only for name's sake. They perform sacrifices. But why do they perform sacrifice? Not for pleasing the Supreme Lord, not for developing some good qualities, not for purifying their existence, not for developing transcendental knowledge. The 4th chapter declares all sacrifices culminate in transcendental knowledge. But such demons who perform sacrifices, they are not interested in transcendental knowledge. They are simply interested in becoming proud, showing off some so-called education. They are more interested in externals. They are not interested in Atma Vidya. Even if they study, just like Hiranyakashipu, later on the 7th canto will be described, even though he was having some knowledge of spirit soul, but such knowledge is not meant for becoming God conscious, not meant for any spiritual advancement. It's only meant for showing off their education. It's only meant for show, for becoming proud, for becoming conceited. So this is demoniac nature. So demoniac nature is clearly described in the Bhagavad Gita and it's illustrated in the Bhagavatam. What is the real disadvantage of this demoniac nature? So in this description of this Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, they are growing up and manifesting all these demoniac qualities. And it will be described how they become such a big problem for everyone, including the demigods headed by Brahma, the universal controllers. Everybody, they become a big problem. Finally, the Supreme Lord has to personally come to actually kill them. So, the description is given, and you should remember always that Bhagavad Gita is the primary study of the Bhagavatam. The principles are given, but the details are explained in the Bhagavatam. That's why carefully studying Bhagavatam will better understand the principles explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, stop it. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada.